What's up, you guys? It is your boy JB, and we are here with the review for The Oval on BET. This is season 2, episode number 9. It is titled Political Junkie. Now, you guys, before we get into this review, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, you guys. If you guys come back to the channel every week and watch my videos, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button so you guys are aware when I drop anything else. And with that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the review, shall we? All right, you guys, so the episode, we pick up where we left off in the last one. You guys remember in the last one, we were outside of Donald and Lily's house with Max and Bobby, and Kyle coming out the house with the big duffel bag that Bobby believed was Lily. Well, Max had to tell him that is not her in that bag. First of all, look at the way he's carrying the bag. And then I think they may have saw Lily at some point in the house, but Bobby wanted to go in the house, and Max like, dude, that is not the smartest plan. Exactly. If you're gonna go in there, please have a plan of action, Bobby. Don't just go in there guns blazing, because then what is that? You're gonna have to clean up a mess. So then we move over to the hospital. You guys remember in the last episode, Ms. Laura allegedly said Jean's name. I never heard it. Did you guys hear her say Jean's name? Please tell me in the comment section, did you hear it? Because I didn't hear it the first time, but I know the second time I did hear it because she was saying it, but the first time, I don't remember her saying Jean's name. And I don't know why she would say Jean's name. Maybe it's because she heard Priscilla's voice, I don't know. So Priscilla asked Norm, has she said that before? He says no, that was her first time. But then he says, that Ms. Laura is in and out of consciousness. I'm like, okay, got that. But she went out, she said Jean's name and then she passed out again. Okay. Maybe it took too much out of her just to get that out. Who knows? Let's move on. All right, you guys, next let's talk about Donald. So Donald goes home and he sees Lily sitting on the couch looking like the bad bee that she is. So he tells her, he's happy that she's home. And he tries to, hug her and kiss her. She's like, She says, I'll sit here, you sit over there. So she asks him, why me, Donald? Because you're obviously not attracted to me. She says, I know you enjoy Kyle. He says, and he tries to play things off. She says, Donald, I heard you. I heard you with him. And, he tells her that, that's not him. Again, she heard you. But he tells her he likes Kyle, but he loves her. And she says, what, I might be crazy, but I love you too. I'm like, okay. I think Lily's playing a game at this point. So she's like, you could have just told me and been honest with me from the jump. Yep, Lily's playing a game. I just thought about it. So now this scene cracked me up. So they're talking, right? And she's backing away from him. But then when she sees Bobby comes in with the gun, I want him to live. I want you to live. I want you to live. I'm good. And then she hugs him and she tells Bobby to go away. And Donald's like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, Donald, you didn't think to look behind you, but okay. So then we see Richard. So Richard, he's all dressed up for his date with Frida, and Nancy comes in and she's trying to talk to Richard once again, but Richard is ignoring her. But then he does say, the only thing I want to hear from you is who is the father of Picky? Who's Picky's father? Who's Picky's father? Get your words together. So she doesn't want to tell him, but she says, she really wants Richard to be at that funeral. I'm like, girl, good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. So Barry comes out and he says, Dad, did you hear Mom talking to you? He's like, yeah, but I want to know who the father of that child is. I'm like, oh God, this is going to be the horse, the dead horse on the ground with the stick. We just poking at it. Okay, I'm cool with that, I guess. So then we see Sharon. So Sharon comes. So she and Barry talk. And Sharon tells Barry that, she is pregnant and that the baby is his. He says, well, why didn't you tell me that before? She says, because I didn't know what I was going to do with the baby. He says, you're not getting an abortion. She says, first of all, you don't tell me that. Secondly, you can't even take care of the child that you have right now. I was like, ooh, Sharon, that was a low blow, even for Barry. So they start to argue with each other. Nancy comes in. Now, this scene with Nancy was hilarious. I cracked up. I rewinded it like 3 times because I watched it so many times. So Nancy tells them to stop arguing and to break it up. And Barry says, mind your business and go cook something. She said, what did you say to me? And he says, and then he says, Dad got on the clothes and smelling good. He's going on a date. He ain't going to hang out with the fellas. Like, that shit. She said, I will slap the shit out of you. She said, I will slap the shit out of you. Sharon said, yeah, somebody needs to do it. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But like I said, nonetheless, it was funny as hell to me. I died laughing. But let's move on. All right, you guys. So let's briefly talk about Maud, because, it really wasn't much to discuss with this scene. So we see Victoria. So Victoria is on the phone with her father. So you guys remember, Victoria was trying to plan a funeral for Maud, but Victoria's father has decided to cremate Maud instead. So there's no need for her to go anywhere. So she asked, I believe the closed caption said that the woman she was talking to, her name is Marilyn. So she was talking to Marilyn, and Marilyn, she asked her, where is Hunter? She says he's in the Oval Office. She says, is he now? She says, yes. So then she gets on the phone and she calls someone and she asks, where is Ellie still in her office, or has she left yet? I don't know what they said, but whatever they said, she hung up the phone and she got up and she left. Then we see the creep Jason. So Jason is once again wandering around the White House, right? So he manages to find his way towards Alan's office. And Alan was like, hey, why don't you come on in, buddy? So I had a feeling he was doing it. So Jason opens the door and walks in. And Alan was like, hey, buddy, your dick's in your hand? And he tells him, like, put it away. Jason is just a creep. And then he tells him, he's not attracted to men, but why are you walking around with your dick out? And a man, if you're not attracted to a man, why are you walking into his office with your dick out? Talking about he does it for shock value. That's not shock value, you creep. Yeah, Jason, I don't know what you're attracted to. I don't know what. That's just nasty. So Alan was talking about how he enjoys the White House, but Jason doesn't. He's like, you know what? I can definitely show you around the White House. But he says, you know what? Just for, just between me and you, like, please, never pull your dick out around me. Don't do it. Jason is just a creep. The biggest creep. Creep. So then we see Nancy. Nancy calls Priscilla and she asks her if Richard told her anything. And then Priscilla, she tells her he went on a date. She said, with Frida. And she was like, yeah. She's like, I figured. I have a question. And we're going to talk about it once we get to that point. I have a big question. How does she know something? I hope, you know what, I think I may have answered my own question, but we'll definitely talk about it when we get there. But let's move on. Hunter. He went to go see Ellie, right? So Ellie told him that she has put out several, I think she was being facetious. She said she put out several hidden jobs on Diane. I'm pretty sure she's being facetious, but I'm pretty positive she's probably put out a bunch of stories about her. Hunter is like the biggest, horniest creep on this show. And he's a terrible president. So Victoria comes down there where he and Ellie are. And she must have went to the Oval and then he wasn't there. So she went to go to Ellie's office. Okay. So she tells him he needs to come upstairs, and she tells Ella that she needs to get an STD test. What? Funny. All right, then. So we see Victoria. She goes to the residence, and then Michael Myers comes out. And he asks her, "Are you afraid of me?" She says, "No, I'm not afraid of you." Victoria, I beg to differ. Even Michael Myers begs to differ. And she says, "You would be best not to ask me that question because you don't know what I'm capable of." But I'm like, Michael Myers here has killed 3 people already. I would be afraid of Michael Myers. I mean, literally, when he was in that door, he looked like Michael Myers. Like, I would be afraid of him. That is a sociopath. I would be terrified of him. He's a sociopath. He's a psychopath. He's every path that you can think of minus an empath. No, thank you. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. So then we see Sam. So Sam is at home. I don't know what he was looking at, but he was looking at something, and Victoria calls him. She's saying that she wants to go for a run this late at night. Okay. He tells her no, that it's too late for them to go for a run. Then they have a bit of a back and forth with one another, to which he says, "You know what? I'll come back and we can run the grounds." So then Sam calls Priscilla, and he tells her that he's going back to the White House. Do you think that was a good idea, Sam? I mean, your wife is already pissed off at you about Victoria. Did you really think that that was the best thing to do? No, not really. But okay, but let's move on. Like, yeah. All right, you guys. So then we see Priscilla. So Priscilla went over to Jean's, and she saw that the place was ransacked. So she calls the police to file a missing persons report. Now, I know with the missing persons report, they have to be missing for 24 hours. So I guess that's one thing that they told her. But then they told her she had to come in. And I'm like, I've never heard that before. Someone calls about a missing person, they send a person out to the house. But okay, I mean, I guess so. So she has to go in. So then she calls Greg, and she tells Greg, that she called the police, but they want her to come in. So Greg is on his way home. So then we see Dale and Kyle. So Dale and Kyle meet each other, and Kyle has been typical Kyle. He's been a douchebag to Dale, and all Dale asked him was if he needed help. So then we see Max. So Max calls Bobby saying that Kyle is at his apartment, and like I said, Kyle being his cocky, typical self, he invites Dale up to his place for a drink, and then we see Max. Once they leave, Max goes through his car. I don't know if he found anything or not. So we see Dale and Dale and Kyle upstairs in his apartment, and they are vibing out over this weird go-go type music, I guess you would say. So then we see Richard and Frida. They're on their date. And, Frida asks, what are they doing? And I'm like, girl, if you had these questions, why did you go on a date with this man in the first place if you had all these questions? And she's asking him why the change of heart. He says, he's always wanted to talk to her, but he was in a different place because you're married. And then he tells her that, he and Nancy are not going to make it. And, she tells him to go home and talk to Nancy because she doesn't want to be in the middle of this. And if he and Nancy work things out, she doesn't want to get hurt. Again, why did you go on this date with him? And then Nancy shows up. And that's the question that I had earlier. How did Nancy know where they were? I mean, I guess I'm going to assume that this is like a place that Nancy and Richard go to often, and it was easy to figure it out, or she maybe called the credit card company. Well, nope, they haven't bought anything unless he made a reservation. I don't know. But she found out where they were nonetheless. Let's move on and wrap the episode up. Oh, God. Sharon and Kareem. Annoying times 2 plus 3. No. Annoying plus 2 and 1 makes 3. Because we don't include the baby. Nope, we're going to subtract the baby. So Sharon and Kareem are just annoying in themselves. So Sharon found her way over to Kareem's after she left, Richard and Nancy's house. I will say, even in my notes, it says she is annoying the hell out of me, which she is. So they're sitting there. He's eating dinner. He gives her a plate. I think he had Chinese food. They're watching TV. She asks him what is on the TV. He says the TV is watching me. She tells him turn the TV off. I want to sit here in silence. Then she tells him take your clothes off, but be quiet. Then, he lays down. She hops on top of him and they have sex. I'm like, oh God. And she's riding him and she tells him stop talking. I'm like, okay, girl, go off. So then we see Greg. So Greg goes home to find a dead Jean in his bed. He calls Priscilla to let her know that, he found Jean and she's dead in his apartment. And she tells him to get out. And then you can hear this noise in the background. And the phone went silent. I have a lot of questions with that one. Because, don't want to get there. We'll get there in just a minute. So we see Dale and Kyle. So they, both drunk as hell. Kyle goes to take a piss and Dale goes to take a smoke. And while Kyle is taking a piss, Max comes in and they just straight up fight. And I'm like, wait a minute, this man was just peeing. But, he managed to zip himself up very quickly. After Max put his face in the toilet, he managed to zip himself up quickly. And for him to be so drunk, he's actually fighting very well. Confusing, huh? So then we see Priscilla. So she finds her way to Greg's place. And what does she find when she gets to Greg's place? Him and Jean both dead. Now it looked like he had a bullet to the head. Who did this? Victoria's daddy? Because he didn't kill himself. I don't believe. No, he did not kill himself. Because when he came, unless he... Okay, you know what? We're not going to think too deeply into it, but I do need answers to that question. What happened? But that is the episode review. You guys be sure to like this video, leave your comments in the comment section below, and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell button, and also go subscribe to the Planner channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. As always, you guys stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance, and we'll get through this together. Until the next one, you guys, bye.